Oh, I'm nervous. Get the jitters, you know?
Do you have some water?
I have a Chandler Bing Fizz.
No, man. You need some water. You know why?
I do have water. Why do I need water?
Well, so I actually heard in a voice acting podcast was you never want to show up to your recording session after eating or drinking like soda or milk. You always want to drink water. Reason being is because it gets the you won't get that like smacking noise with your mouth, you know. It's all the you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so before we ever start these, you need to drink some water.
Yeah.
In fact, you know what? I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some water.
Okay.
Speaking of.
That wasn't it. That was... Anyways, welcome to DaUseless Podcast. That'll take some time to get used to saying. My name's Colton, and this is Calvin. Say hi, Calvin.
Hello.
And this is our little show that we're starting. Now, we wanted to start things off, obviously, by just discussing the idea of the podcast and kind of where our names came up with and blah, blah, blah. And obviously, the Useless Podcast, that sounds like we're just calling it a useless podcast. No.
I mean, it's right.
That is actually, well, yes. But that kind of just stems from our usernames on like video games and stuff like that, you know? And so Calvin here goes by DaHobster, obviously.
Yeah.
And I go by Useless Gamer TM or trademark, however you want to say that.
If you were watching the video version of this on YouTube, we'll have it linked in the description. Maybe we'll have it on the screen. I don't know. We'll figure that part out later. But we'll definitely have them leaked. So
that's all post.
Yeah, it's post stuff.
So I wanted to ask you actually. So how did you come up with the name DaHobster?
Oh, okay, all right. So, my original name on the PlayStation was Little White Meat, and people started taking it to a different level and started making fun of it, even though it wasn't intended that way. Because my dad's online name is The Other White Meat. And so I was Little White Meat. So whenever you saw us playing games together, it was always like, oh, clearly these two know each other. But eventually I changed it. So, oh gosh, there's a little bit of a history. Do you want me to give the YouTube background, or
you can? Yeah, give your YouTube background too.
Okay,
whatever you want to do.
I'll give kind of how that played out. So, forever ago, me and my cousin had started our own channel, and we called it Gamers Tag, and still exists. Maybe we'll link it. I don't know. We'll think about that. Nothing's on there. It's all privated. But, so, I started that channel with my cousin, and I was supposed to be Little White Meat, and I think he was the Poner.
Okay.
Essentially, after a little while, me and my cousin just realized we weren't really getting, we weren't making good videos. They were bad. They were really, really bad. And plus, I was the one editing everything and whatever. But, so eventually I ended up taking on that channel and I became Gamers Tag. Well, after a few years, I didn't really like the name Gamers Tag, and I felt like I had to kind of have a fresh reset, just completely restart. And so then I made a brand new channel, and I called it Calzone, because that's a nickname that one of our friends will actually call me on occasion. Well, I then realized that was also a bad name. So I started really thinking, because on the my online name. What?
Now on calzone, the reason you decided it was bad was because when you search calzone,
It
you
came
just got a
up
bunch
with
of food, right?
Tons of recipes for calzones, and
Okay, I couldn't remember why you decided that, but I remembered having that conversation with you, and I felt like that was the main kind of
but
point.
my online name was still Little White Meat, and eventually I got to the point that I got a little tired of it, and so I changed my online name to DaHobster, because for one, I was actually named after Calvin and Hobbes, as I've told everyone, so I figured I would lean in on the Calvin and Hobbes idea.
Yeah.
And so I thought, like, oh, I'll just do DaHobster. And now, everybody gives me a whole bunch of nicknames surrounding that. And then eventually I enjoyed it so much that I ended up changing my actual YouTube channel to DaHobster. And that's, honestly, that is the one I'm sticking with. I feel like that one has personified me way more than Gamers
I
Tag
think it works really
or
well.
Calzone. Yeah, I love that one so much more.
See, and technically I did know most of that, but I actually didn't know the part about your cousin having a channel that you guys. So were you guys trying to do like a kind of like a?
We were trying to do like a
team channel?
Game Grumps style.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you what. The stuff I was into and my cousin was into, they didn't line up whatsoever. Ever. And so
this is the cousin I met, right? From work?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, the videos that we did were very clunky and they were very I remember there was one time he started talking about how I'd gotten my driver's license, and I'm thinking, like, I don't really want anyone to know this, because, just protection of the internet and whatnot, but, yeah, so,
I guess that does just give away, like, your age, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Or was it, like super detailed information about it?
Like, it was more than I was comfortable with. Like, now I'm a little more okay with being a little more open. Like, I don't mind sharing just a little bit more. But
it's like now if you gave a story of you getting your driver's license, it's different than like, oh yeah, I just went and got my driver's license. And
yeah. Or like, hey, I got a new car. Like, when you don't like when you're like, I guess 16, you don't want to share that information. You don't want the world to know it. And considering he was a little bit, just a little bit younger than me, it was that, I'll just share it because it's something to talk about. So I wish.
So talk about like your first car. It's really like when you're not big on, like if you're big on YouTube, it's hard to share what kind of car you have because then people are going to look out for it. Because they have like internet stalkers, like the big YouTube people and all that.
Yeah, and it's like we weren't going to get that much attention. So looking back, it probably wouldn't have actually mattered. Yeah. But I cared about it.
But I understand the sense of like wanting your privacy and not wanting to talk about that.
Yeah, so. And so I remember that was one problem that I had, and I do remember I had him play one of my favorite games. One of my top favorite games. I tried having him play To the Moon. That, man, he just kept cracking jokes at it. And I'm like, okay, well, you can enjoy it a little bit, but it's kind of a serious story. And so I had a little bit of a hard time with that.
That's fair.
So eventually we decided like it wasn't going to work. Turns out he decided to go start a YouTube channel with one of his cousins. Yeah, they figured out very quickly, like, oh, this isn't going to work out. And like, yeah.
Like the same thing, essentially.
Yeah, you really have to have, like, a nice joint collaboration on something.
Yeah, and you also have to have similar interests, too.
Yeah, and so the interests between me and my cousin were not lined up.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, and having known him, like, briefly... I could definitely tell that you guys had very different energies. Like I didn't, like you told me you were related and I was like, there's no way. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So, I guess I'll tell my story now. So, useless gamer, trademark, I guess, if you will. Um, so that initiated. I know you know this, but this is for everyone else, obviously. So that initiated from tech crew in high school. Because in stage crew, and for those of you who don't know, it's basically the set building and stuff for musical theater.
Yeah.
But basically, everyone over time got nicknames for tech, just because it was kind of just something we did, I guess. And one of our, so I was a sophomore, and so it was my first time in that class. I'd never done it before. And our first day that we were actually doing stuff, so like maybe the second or like the second day of actual class, my teacher went through and was like assigning everyone jobs, and I just kind of didn't get assigned anything to do. And so what ended up happening was I was very socially awkward at the time. And so I was like, "Oh, I'll go sit over there for a minute and then wait for him to be kind of done," because he was still going through and like helping make sure people were getting what they needed for whatever jobs they were doing. And so I was like, "I'll go sit down in the corner and I'll kind of just look at my phone for a minute while I wait for him to be done, and then I can go talk to him and see what he wants me to do." But so I went and did that. I had started looking at my phone for a second. I couldn't have been over there for more than like 2 minutes. And one of the guys that was like, he was hanging some lights or something. And he was probably he was a senior. One of the seniors. So he was, familiar with the class and everything. He calls down to the whole room. He goes, "Yo, what's Useless doing over there?" And he's pointing at me. And everybody laughs. And I'm like, "Oh, well, I didn't get told to do anything. I was kind of waiting for my teacher to be done." And ever since then, it kind of stuck for all of high school for tech crew. And that's kind of where that stems from. And then I just started using it for my usernames.
I'm pretty sure trademark. I'm pretty sure that started as a little joke in one of our group chats.
Yes. So
like I think around the time that all of us started like hanging out again, I think
so
you made a trademark joke.
we were making some joke. I don't remember what it was, but then we'd like say trademarked after a bunch of stuff. And originally my original gamer tag for PlayStation was Useless Gaming, like, and then some numbers.
Yep.
And then eventually it was Useless Gaming _TM. And then it became Useless Gamer TM.
Yeah.
So mine definitely has less of a progression to it than yours did.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, heck, you didn't even know the story about me and my cousin.
Well, I feel like you told me that before. I just forgot about it.
That's one of those stories that I have been waiting to tell people. Like if I ever get to a certain subscriber level. Because do you remember? I don't know if you remember the Draw My Life.
Yeah.
Do you remember those at all? I always wanted to do one of those.
That would be so cool.
And I thought like, oh, this would be perfect. I could explain the entire history of like how the channel got made and where it started and where it is now. I've always wanted to do those. Obviously, Draw My Life is not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I could still do it for all I care.
People would be like, "Oh, nostalgia." So.
Yeah, a little throwback. Oh, clearly this dude has been around for a while and he's watched a lot of YouTube just change. Yeah. So, yeah, honestly, in hindsight, the original story sounds really rude for you and useless.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I remember there was kids that like I'd tell them like, "Oh yeah, that's my name." They'd be like, "What in the hell? Like, why are we calling you this?
Yeah.
Like, this is so mean." I was like, "Guys, it's genuinely fine. Like, we've all like I think anyone that had called me that in high school, we had a conversation about like making sure that I was okay with it. Like they were like every single person I knew that had called me that had come up to me at some point and been like, hey, like this isn't actually like a problem, right? Like, you know, we're joking, like it's a joke, like it's just a name, like it's just because of a funny moment, you know?
Yeah.
And so,
but I mean,
from an outside perspective, absolutely, yes. It just sounds like I'm being absolutely ridiculed.
Well, even now when we do raids with our, by the way, me and Colton here, we love playing Destiny 2.
Yes.
And so we have our own clan. We raid with people.
Shout out Barbecue Nachos,
and
we got you.
Yeah.
If you need a Destiny 2 clan, hit us up.
Yeah. Just do the thing.
Do the
I don't
thing.
know how you reach out to us. Yeah. So
leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts saying that you want to join our Destiny 2 clan.
Oh.
Leave us a really nice review and we'll think about it.
Yeah, they just send us a review. The review is just I want to be in the Barbecue Nachos clan. They don't even talk about the actual podcast. It's just we want to be in the clan.
They're like, we really want to be in the clan. Oh, nice podcast.
I guess your podcast is
dubs.
okay. But tell me about that clan.
Yeah. Little did you know.
Anyway, so yeah, so sometimes while we're playing in the raid, we'll yell like, "Hey, useless!" Like, it's worded always in a way that makes us sound like we're calling you literally useless.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, and here's the thing. Here's the irony: is that I am not the greatest Destiny player. Am I the worst? Probably not. But I like to think of it as I come into those raids like last night, for example, I came in and I was like, I've done this raid so many times. I don't know this. I don't know this room at all. Like, I don't know anything in here.
You know what? And that's totally fine because we were like I just speed explained everything to you just so you know what was going on. And truthfully, when it comes to those raids, after a while, when you kind of know multiple raids. Mm-hmm. And you see future mechanics, you're just like, oh, well, I know how this plays out. Like, I can put 2 and 2 together. Like, it makes sense.
Well, and it's it's a double-edged sword, you know? Like, it's literally my name, but also sometimes it's like, all right, you're kind of being stupid. Get over here. Like, you know?
Yeah.
And so it kind of works.
Yeah.
It really does. It works, you know?
Yeah.
And I've never really had a problem with it. Like, in high school, obviously, there was days where I was like, okay, maybe people need to stop doing this. But eventually I was like, it's just a name because of a funny joke, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's just how it be. Now, I kind of want to get into maybe, like, how we met, per se.
How we met.
Because technically, we kind of met through, like, several people.
Yes, back in high school. By the way, he graduated a year before I did. So
yes, I'm a year ahead of you.
Yes. So, in your senior year, my junior year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when we first met because we had a common friend that was in my group and also moved into Colton's group. And so
now we should clarify.
Hold
on, I want to clarify. So I was friends with someone who was in my grade. You were friends with someone in your grade. And those two people had met in a class. So I technically met you through a friend of a friend.
Yeah. So and now we're doing a podcast together.
And now we're together. Look at us go.
Yeah, so what I do remember is technically the first time I met you. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to give a specific, like, oh, on this day, on this hour, and we were doing this.
It was January 4th. Actually, it might be close. I don't know.
I don't know. So you guys were doing, we had a film festival at our school.
Correct.
Really short, small, wasn't anything big. But the group was doing a Sherlock Holmes crossover with Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah.
Really good story. Maybe one day we'll actually revisit it. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, if we ever, commit to anything in our lives.
Yeah. So, I was cast as Watson.
And that was actually, you were the second one cast, weren't you? We had somebody else before you, I think.
Technically, yeah.
Like we had
did,
you. I think we cast you at the same time because he was like, I don't know, and so we were like, okay, we'll
yeah,
have you as backup.
And well, Greg was trying to push for me to be Watson.
Yes.
He's just like, I really want you to be Watson. I really want you to be Watson. So that's technically how I met Colton.
Yes.
But we weren't all like, oh, hey, buddy, because the only person I know here is Greg.
Yeah, we didn't really necessarily start like talking to each other directly until after high school.
Yeah.
So
actually,
let me give my rundown real quick, okay? So I met Alec in 9th grade. So I knew him for a while. And then in my senior year, he met Greg in our TV broadcasting class, I believe, is how it went. Right? Do you know?
Sorry, what?
Did Alec and Greg meet each other in TV broadcasting, or did they meet in a different class?
I think it was TV broadcasting, or at the least it would have been like digital media.
Okay.
Something like that.
So they met in one of those classes, and then I was like, oh, okay, this Greg guy is pretty chill, I guess. And then Alec and Greg had come up with the idea for the short film, and that's kind of how that came to be. And so then Greg was like, all right, let me bring my buddies in here that we didn't know.
Yeah.
So like when I said like a friend of a friend,
total merge.
It's crazy.
It was total merge of two groups.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
what it
much. Because it was you, Lachlan, and Greg, and it was me and Alec essentially. Like we had other people that we were with, but
yeah.
Okay. So then,
Yeah.
when Alec left, he left for 2 years in September of 2016, which is the year we graduated. You guys were still in high school. I think we hung out once or twice after he left. Is that right?
Yeah, we didn't really see each other.
Yeah, because when he left, he was like, "Hey, you guys all need to hang out while I'm gone," and
that didn't happen.
And me, being the socially awkward person I was at the time, was like, I barely know most of these people, really. But okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, so we hung out once or twice, and then eventually we all had our own things going on. But I did visit you guys while you were still in school.
Yeah.
At the time.
And it was a lot easier then.
Yeah.
Now it's actually kind of a challenge to go visit the school.
Yeah. And so we then didn't really talk until 2018. To be specific, it was Valentine's Day 2018.
Yep, and I will take this.
You feel free. Go ahead.
I will take it from here. So, on my old channel, Gamers Tag, me and my friend Lachlan, we were playing Fortnite. Now, this was back when Fortnite was kind of in its prime. Like, it was just, I think it was like season 3, something like that. Season 2. And so we did a stream, and I called it like the Lonely Hearts stream, and it was just me and Lachlan playing Fortnite, and that was it. It wasn't anything special. I think I did 2 different streams. Well,
I thought Greg was there.
While we're streaming, maybe he was. I don't know. I don't remember.
Fair.
That's not the important part of the story. So we were streaming, and all of a sudden, now I'll tell you what. At the time, I had the jankiest setup ever. I was in a low chair, sitting in front of my TV, right here, different TV. But man, and I had a laptop next to me so I could watch the freaking commenters, the chat. And this person comes in named Useless, pops right into my chat and says something really depressing. You were like, "Oh, I'm so useless. I'm so worthless. Why am I here? I'm a mistake." And I'm like, "You can't say that. It's Valentine's. Us solo people have to stick together." And me and Lachlan are just like, "Yeah, buddy, you're doing great." And then after a brief minute, I don't. This is
no, it wasn't. So you guys didn't even realize it was me until after the stream was over. From what I understand, yeah.
Oh, didn't you send one of us a message?
So I had been in the comment. It was at the end of your stream that I came in and started talking, because Lachlan had posted that you guys were streaming on his Snapchat story, and so I had been messaging you in the chat, and then, like, right at the end, I think it was either right at the end or afterward that Lachlan messaged, or like you guys had noticed, and Lachlan had messaged me actually. It was like, "Was that you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so we talked for a little bit, and then he was like, "You should come join our stream sometime." And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Like, I'll come play with you guys or something."
And then blossomed into a friendship.
Yep.
Actually, here, let me see if I can go find. I had 2 of them.
You did. You did have 2.
Yeah.
Because I think you streamed twice that day.
Those thumbnails are awful. What did I do?
I don't know. But yeah, I think you streamed twice that day because, like, one of the streams, like, cut off or something. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Yeah, Greg was there, actually.
Yeah.
Or wait. Wow, that's what Fortnite looked like at the time?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, Greg was there.
Yep. Told you. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, I think it was Lachlan that actually messaged me out of all of you. So.
Oh, okay. Yes, you might have come in for the second stream that I did, because that one was only me and Lachlan.
Oh. So that happened, and then we started hanging out, we started playing games together, and then...
It turned into late nights with the boys.
Yeah. And then we all worked at the movie theater together.
And then there's the movie theater era.
The movie theater era. So
the movie theater.
So I should preference this by saying that. So my senior year of high school, halfway through, so the end of it, so like March 2016, is when I started working in the movie theater. Now, about, I want to say it was like April 2018 that I got Greg to come in to the theater.
Yes.
Because he hated his job. And then I think you were like very close after. Did you and Lachlan come at the same time? Do you remember?
I think I went first, actually.
I know you. You came first. I just can't remember how long it was after that Lachlan did.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't remember.
It
was too long ago.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny is that I think Lachlan was the last one to be there, but he was the first one to leave.
He was.
Of us 4.
He was the first one to leave because he started working at the gym.
Some gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we all worked at the movie theater together. He wasn't there for more than like a year, right?
No, not really.
He was only there a few months, but we stayed there for a while.
Yes.
I forget, so because of COVID and everything, I forget that you guys started there in 2018, and by 2019, Lachlan had already left. Mm-hmm. And I had already, like, moved apartments and everything.
Yeah, and at the I think it was the tail end of the year, or beginning of 2020. No. It was definitely the tail end of 2019. That's when I became a department leader.
Yeah. Or and then, was it the end of it was either the very end of December or like the first week of January.
I think it was the end of December, because that's when the one
guy left.
the one kid, he just barely got the position.
He had it for like a month, maybe.
Yeah, if that, and he was just like, I don't actually want this job, and he had the full-time one.
Yeah.
But then they took that full-time and split it into 2 part-times. Yeah. And gave it to 2 of us.
So I always forget that, like, you only worked there for like not counting COVID time, like a year and a half.
No, it was about 2.
I'm saying, I guess so. You worked from like April, May 2018 until March of 2020 when COVID hit, and then you came back for a few weeks in November of 2020. So it was like just barely over a year and a half.
Yeah. Dude, it felt like 5.
It did. That's the thing, though. I look back on that time frame, just 2018, 2019, and it feels like a lifetime, dude. Because we were
it felt so much longer than it actually was.
Yeah. Like, if you really think about it, we've only been talking again, like, as friends for, like, I guess that's, like, 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years? I need to stop saying time frames when we talk about things. This is, like, the 3rd time today. Like...
Yeah.
But I think part of that is because COVID messed up my time frame in my mind so much.
Yes.
I think that's part of it, because I didn't have this issue before COVID.
So okay, I'm actually gonna incorporate a little bit of my own channel, my own YouTube channel, and how it crossed from the movie theater era into I'm gonna call it COVID era.
Yeah.
All right. So, for the longest time, I kept posting on the Gamers Tag channel. And then eventually, that's when I decided I want a fresh restart. I feel like I need to make kind of a new name. I want to restart just completely. So, it was September of 2019
that you made.
That's when I made. Yep, I made the Calzone channel.
Right.
Currently DaHobster. And then when COVID hit, in fact, if you go to my channel, you can literally see I only posted like 2 videos back early 2 or 3 videos in like September, November time. And then you see it literally says like a 5-month, 4-month gap.
Yeah.
And then I started posting videos like crazy. And that right there, the spring-ish time of 2020, that is when I feel like my channel became what it was.
Yeah.
I was still called Calzone.
But that's when we had so much time on our hands, because
we had tons of time.
Well, so in March of 2020 we closed the theater, but the full-time people were still working there. Like, we were just deep cleaning the theaters and the food court for months, and you guys were getting paid. What was it called?
Oh shoot!
You're getting them Trump checks, is what I called them.
Trump
the
checks?
Unemployment checks.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, and
Daddy Trump was paying
this.
You guys.
I'm going to say this because it upsets me to this day that I didn't do that earlier. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Because Greg he started that really early, and he got more money than I did.
Yeah.
I should have started sooner.
I think I told you to. Like, I was telling you needed to.
And then I went and started
remember
it,
I was pissed because you guys were able to sit at home for months and do nothing, and you got paid like triple what I was making while I was still working. And I was doing like I was doing like the shittiest job ever. Like, I had to sit there and scrape gum off of seats, and like, it was disgusting. and I was getting paid. I was getting less money than I normally would doing my normal job.
But I do remember there was like a good solid 2 or 3 weeks that you actually got sent home.
So that's what I was gonna say, is that at the very beginning of May, they laid off everyone but the actual like managers. So all of the department leaders and team members that were full time, they got let go. Or what was the term they used? It wasn't let go because we weren't fired. They suspended us? I don't remember. Anyways.
No.
I don't remember the technical term. But we were out for about a month and a half, I believe. I think they brought us back mid-June.
Yes.
But I remember, so May was when they started doing private showings for movies. Like someone could rent out a theater and watch a movie. And they started doing that after they let a bunch of employees off for a month and a half. And that bothered me. But for that month and a half, I made bank by being unemployed.
Yeah.
But that was the month that I think we really got into it.
Oh,
YouTube-wise.
Because that's when we did, I think that might have been when we did Netherlanders.
Yeah, that
Minecraft Netherlanders.
Yeah, Minecraft, because the 1.16 update came out.
Yep. And I remember that was the era where I got burnt out and stopped doing videos for like 6 months.
Correct, because it took you like most of that year to get that series out that we didn't even finish. Like
yeah, still unfinished. And I believe me, I want to go back to it. But also I'm like, do I really want to?
Do any of us even have that world downloaded?
No.
I was gonna say, I feel like I might. I don't know. Or I sent it to Greg or something.
See, now I've told everyone this, so this isn't news to you.
Yeah.
But during that time, I was recording The Last of Us Part 2. Mm-hmm. Those were like 2.5 hour videos.
Yeah.
And then I had Netherlanders. So Netherlanders was supposed to be like the heavily edited and like, oh, this is supposed to be some funny moments and like you're watching us progress into Netherland or into the Nether update.
Yeah.
Well, so I had heavy editing on that, but those were long sessions with shorter videos. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I had The Last of Us. I had to record some of those back to back.
Yeah, you were
like 2.5 hour videos, and not only that, when I was editing would take about 4 hours for each, just of The Last of Us.
And in those,
about 4 hours
didn't
each.
really do a ton of heavy editing. You just kind of cut out the boring bits.
No. Yep. And I remember that is when I got burnt out.
Yeah.
In fact, if you go watch, I think 2 or 3 videos after I finished The Last of Us and I started playing different games.
Well, didn't you have Resident Evil 8 like shortly after that too?
No. That one was a little bit later.
No, that was a year later. That was 2021.
Yeah.
That's my bad. I get those 2 years
but
mixed up.
What's funny is that usually with the schedule of me posting, I don't like having series where they're like back-to-back videos. Unless it's really good and I feel like I have to dish out the videos. Yeah, that was that Resident Evil Village was the only game that I actually posted all the parts back to back.
Yeah.
And then a little bit after that, oh shoot, let me go pull up. That's when I decided to, I think I took another break. Mm-hmm. I took another break and then I ended up, let me go pull it up.
I think part of it was once we started getting back into work and school and whatnot, I think that really, it was a lot of change because we went from, we went from working all the time at the theater to doing absolutely nothing to all of a sudden having to work again. And then mid 2021 that you started working at the college?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And
It was
then
in the summer.
Yeah. And then from that point, you also started school, and so it
Yeah.
kind of became. So there was a lot of breaks. Around the times that you started new things. So when you started working at the theater again, there was a bit of a break there. And then when you started working at the college, there was another break, I think.
Now, I can't fully blame that on, like, oh, life changes and thing,
Well, it's just a matter of a lot of things go on. Like you have to get used to your new time schedule. Realistically,
I'm going to blame Destiny too, because after I was done, that is when I think it was Season of Arrivals.
It was mid 2021. No.
Yes. Roughly. You know what?
No, it was mid 2020.
Specifically tell you.
It was mid 2020 because 2020 is when Beyond Light came out.
No, it came out at the end of 2020.
Yeah, but we had started playing a little bit before that. It's like mid 2020, like July, August, September.
Yeah. So it was around July.
Yeah.
It was around July when I actually stopped uploading videos. Yeah. And then I started. I'll say I was going ham on Destiny because when Beyond Light was coming out, they were actually going to vault a lot of stuff, and so raids were going away, weapons were going away, a lot of stuff I hadn't experienced yet in that game. They went away.
And that's why you had started going and finding like clans and stuff to do stuff with.
Yeah,
because you wanted to do some of the stuff before it went away.
Yeah, I started searching people out, and eventually we kind of just started finding this little group of people. And, well, fast forward down the line, we ended up creating the Barbecue Nachos clan.
Which was about a year ago, I think.
Yeah, well, I think we've had that clan for about a year, I think. But even then, I, met some very wonderful people by just doing that.
Yeah.
I've also met some horrible people while trying to do that. But yeah, so that I feel like 2020 definitely was I feel like a very defining year.
Yeah.
For everything. Because for one, I started taking my YouTube channel to a way different extent, because I was posting every single day. I was posting every day. I was editing every day. I did a video every day at some point. I was dishing out videos.
And then there's me, who posts maybe a video a year, something like that.
Well, no, you had done more videos, but you did it on your actual account versus the useless.
Not really. My so originally Useless Gamer trademark, the YouTube channel, was my personal YouTube channel. And then eventually I split it onto a second account. But on my original one, I hadn't really posted anything. I had done a couple streams of Fortnite in 2018. I did a Minecraft stream or something, and then I posted a Kingdom Hearts video. And that was 2019. Yeah. The actual recorded and edited stuff was only on the current channel. And that was 2020 onward.
Okay.
And I have I want to say 5 videos?
Ish.
Here, let me look. Let me double check.
Well, seeing 2020 I felt like was a very defining year for a lot of people, because it defined my YouTube channel a little bit more. I have a thought on that, but I'm gonna put a pin in it for a minute.
Okay.
That's when I was really playing Destiny a lot.
Yeah.
Because before, in the past, I never had people to play with except for my dad and Greg occasionally.
And then we started playing together in Destiny during Forsaken, which was 2018.
Yep. We played Forsaken. We played quite a bit.
Yeah.
Me, you, and my dad played quite a bit. We did some of the cool stuff. And then later, we'd all basically stopped, except for my dad.
Yeah.
He kept going. But 2020 is when it really brought me back to Destiny, and that's when I started doing, like, Olive Comp, and, you know, I learned about Trials of Osiris, and doing raids. Now we do them weekly, so, I mean...
And also, I did look, so I have 5 actual gameplay videos. I have a update where I got a webcam, so I did like a vlog. And then I have a video where I went and got that emote in Destiny. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
So in 2020, I posted 4 videos. And then 2021, I posted nothing. And then 2022, I've posted 3 videos.
Okay. Matt, you need to do more. You need to post more videos.
I know. It just comes down to editing. Like, the editing, I just can't sit and do it.
I know. Editing sucks.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just go on a roll. Okay. Admittedly, I do think part of it is, like, can you sit and actually enjoy your own video?
Yeah.
And that is something that I've kind of taken into account of, like, do I enjoy this video? Am I enjoying it? If I am enjoying it, then I think that other people, they'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Which, now, isn't always the case, because I obviously have a couple videos here and there that have blown up for no apparent reason. In fact, I hate one of them.
Pack War!
Pack War.
We love Pack War. It's got, 6.3 thousand views?
6.7K.
6.7. It's gone up, I think. Since last time.
It's starting to stagnate. But last time I said that,
it went up 3,000.
It shot. Yeah, it shot up like another 4,000. So.
I think that's been my favorite thing to watch, is just the one singular video just skyrocket, and then everything else just stay at like 100 or lower. But you're starting to get quite a few up there above 100, which is nice.
I am, and it's actually making me really happy, because, you know, that is one thing I'll say about the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
It is both the worst and somewhat kind of good thing of the internet, because if you are starting out, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So either you have to basically, like, kind of clickbait people a little bit. And I think once you cross a certain threshold, that's when the YouTube algorithm starts realizing, like, oh, this person is actually kind of sort of consistent, so maybe should start, like, pushing their content, which I think has actually happened. But yeah, I don't feel as like, oh, no one's watching the videos. I like, that's one thing that can get in your head, honestly, is no one's watching my video.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the past little bit, I've actually been very, very pleased with any videos that I post, because I actually feel like I get somewhat of a decent audience out of it. So
yeah,
but
you know, and
yeah,
I think that's the hard part about starting doing YouTube, is that you don't feel like anyone's watching, so it's hard to put in.
It's the drag. Work. And I'll tell you what, you could ask your family or friends, and I won't include you because I know that you occasionally go watch. But also, you've told me that you don't watch every single video I post.
Yeah. Like, I'd love to sit and watch every single one, but, like, I don't have the time for that.
Yeah. But that's actually where the big thing is, that, like, you can ask friends and family, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah," and then they'll go watch the current video,
and then never
and
look again.
Not the video. Yeah, they'll watch the current video for like 2 minutes, if that, and then they just leave.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah." So I don't really care as much, because I do feel like I've been more consistent this year than I have any other year.
Yes.
And it really comes down to just being consistent.
And I also think it helps that you're not trying to do like, oh, I've got to post every single day or whatever. You're like, okay, I'm going to post once, maybe twice a week, if even, like, you know, like, and I feel like that's still pretty consistent, but it's like you're not overworking yourself to try to meet this quota.
Oh, yeah. Now, I think eventually there will be a time that I post more.
Yeah.
But as far as like,
I feel like it's easier to post more if you're getting more views.
Yeah. Now I'll definitely say that this isn't just like a oh, I'm just trying to stroke my ego right now. It's more of the fact of like looking back at 2020,
yeah,
okay, and how that's defined me as a person right now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like specifically this year has shown me like I don't have to post every single day. I don't have to grind my life out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I don't have to do that. Because obviously it's, have a job and, going to school and social life, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like this year specifically has been the actual definitive, this is actually what I want my content to be. That this is what it's turned into for this year, I feel like is the most definitive version of me that I've posted onto YouTube.
Yeah. And, I feel the same way. Obviously not YouTube wise, but, just in my own life, I feel like 2020 was a turning point of like,
it really was,
because I went out, I got a different job, I met different people, I had different experiences, and I came up with different ideas of what I've got to do with my life and kind of started going in the right direction. Sure. Like, did I necessarily take all the steps to get to where I needed to be right then and there? No. Like, I didn't start going to school until this year. But it definitely was like, it was a time of self-reflection of like, my job is not going to be there forever. Like, there will be a reason that I cannot work. Whether that be a freaking pandemic or, or they just can't have that much staff because whatever,
No, I would definitely agree.
It was an eye-opening experience, I think.
I think definitely the past 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years since COVID, or do I say 3 because we're coming up on
we'll
New
say
Year's?
2.
I don't,
because it's been like basically it's been 2 full years.
2.5, 2. Yeah, 2.5 around there.
Well, no, not even that, because I feel March will be 2 full years after COVID had happened, because that'll be the start of the 3rd year. So it's been almost 2.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, I feel like since then, so much has been defined in our lives.
Yeah.
Just in general. Now, obviously, I'm talking about the YouTube channel because, well, for one, I have it popped up because I needed to look at times.
Yeah.
And when I posted stuff to make the story be more cohesive. Mm-hmm. But, like, even, like, for me, dating, with dating my girlfriend, it's been completely... I've never actually had one before until about last year, the end of last year.
Yeah.
And so seeing how a relationship is supposed to be and you know, yeah, it's that's one thing that has changed majorly for me.
Yeah.
And like, heck, even schooling just in itself. I mean, last like 2 weeks ago, me and you were talking about changing our
majors.
Yeah. What do we want to go into? And that's something that it's taken me a little bit to realize, like, oh, this is what I actually want to go into.
Yeah.
So,
and like I feel like for me, it's like I've always known I want to do something in that general area, but it's like I never just settled down and been like, okay, that's just what I gotta do. I gotta go for it. You know, I was always like, what if?
Absolutely.
I was like, always just, but what if I change my mind, or what if, you know, I don't want to do that? Like, what if it changes? And I'm like, eventually, it's like you just have to start doing it. Because if you don't start doing it, you won't know that you want to change it.
Well, and believe me, like, and you know this, we have had some late night chats about stuff.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
Like we have gone through the motions.
Yeah.
Of like being in your early 20s, early to mid 20s. Like your 20s are not meant to be like I'm just gonna have everything figured out right then and there. And it's like, no, your 20s are kind of, I feel like, more of a time to you're figuring out your spot in life.
Yeah.
Where do you need to be? Where do you need to go?
Even though it does seem that some people have it figured out, or some people expect you to have it figured out.
Oh, yeah.
It's very much not.
I hate those people. Yeah. Why do you have it figured out already?
Yeah, shut up. Stop having kids already. Listen, we get it. You've had your third kid, Susan. I get it. You're 24. Calm down.
Okay. Wow. Some repressed.
I literally know nobody my age that has 3 kids. That was just.
Oh. Nah. But
unless
still,
I do.
Like you go on any of our social medias and you see like people that you knew. Because like I do know that, like I asked my dad. I'm like, hey, when you were younger, like what was it like finding out, you know, somebody you knew in high school, they're married and they're having kids? And he said, he's like, honestly, wasn't much thought put into it, because it was just one of those things that essentially after high school, that was it. And I'm like, yeah, you know, that is true, because, well, you know, you didn't have social media. Now we have social media and we can see everything. We see it happen. We're seeing it, and it's just like, I knew you in high school and you were like kind of a douche, like, or
it's not just oh, did you hear they had a kid? It's, you know, you see the pregnancy announcement, you see like the updates, you see, you know, see their life unfold in front of you. It's a totally different scenario between that and, like, you know, your mom calling you and being like, hey, you remember so-and-so? Yeah, they're married and have like 2 kids now, you know, because you didn't hear about it for a long time.
And now we see literally all of that happen along in our own lives.
And the reason that is because you also just have people on there you're not necessarily close to. Because obviously back in the day when you didn't have the internet, the people you were close to, you still got like more updates, you know?
Yeah, you got some sort of an idea.
Now it's like, okay, well, I added all these people in high school. I don't talk to any of them, but I'm seeing their life updates constantly.
Oh, yeah, there's a good solid like 3 or 4 people that I knew in high school, and I see their stuff on social media, and I'm like, wow, you were so far in life, and I'm still just playing video games, and my biggest achievement is, I did a master raid. Wow,
and here we are making a podcast, a bunch of 2 dudes just talking crap about who knows what, complaining that people are posting photos of their babies every other day. Listen, I get it. You have a kid. They're cute. It's adorable. But, like, do I need to hear about it every day? Like, You can tell I have gripes with this. Like,
But still, it's I do feel like the past 2 years, ever since COVID, has been like the most drastic but maybe necessary change for me personally.
yeah.
Of like, hey, you need to go to school. You need to start doing stuff. And now that doesn't necessarily mean that school's going to be my end all be all, because what if something else comes along and then I just go into that?
Yeah.
It could happen. But, you know, it's nice to have that idea of what you're going to do.
Yeah. It's nice to have a goal.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something that I've kind of started doing this year, or this past year, is that I kind of sat there and I went, I can't just be doing the same stuff forever. I have to make some sort of change. I have to have a goal. I have to work towards that.
And it has to be realistic.
Yeah.
It can't just be like this, oh, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to get my bachelor's degree. And it's like, well, okay, hold your horses.
Yeah.
Hold on. Baby steps. I mean, and that's like, for me with YouTube. A little while ago, I sat and thought, and I'm like, you know what? I want to post videos. Yeah. I enjoy doing it. Every time I go back, well, I mean, heck, me and you go back and we watch some of the older videos, the older COVID times, and we're just like, oh, those are so good. Those were good times. Those are good times. And I just think like, no, why do I keep going back to it?
Yeah.
Like, sure, it's nostalgic for us.
It's weird to also have something just from like 2020 be nostalgic.
Oh, I know.
You know?
That's weird. No, and so I sat there and I'm like, you know what? I need to, if I'm going to post videos, if this is something I want to actually do, then I need to do it. So then I decided 1 video a week. I didn't enjoy that. That was bad. So I then increased it to 2 videos a week. And that I felt like has kind of been the nice sweet spot.
Yeah.
Depending, I might do a vlog on my own channel here soon that I might post Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and post 3 times a week, depending.
Okay.
Because I do feel like it takes a little bit longer than it should be to getting to some of the games that I play.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, I know for a while there you had like a backlog from like June that you didn't get fully out until like September.
Yeah, that was I think that was Stardew.
It was mostly Stardew, I think.
Yeah. Great series, by the way. Y'all should go watch it.
Yeah.
It's probably my second favorite series that I've done, maybe. So, yeah.
I make some guest appearances. I think
quite a bit.
I think while we were playing Stardew, both while I joined yours on your channel and our own personal one, I think that's really where I felt like we should sit and do a podcast, like for the first time, because we just would sit there and just say all this random shit, and I'd be like, why are we not like saving this? Like, why is this not?
Yeah.
But no, when it comes to like sitting there and reflecting and like kind of setting out goals, I will be 25 this in the next few weeks here. And
yes, you will.
With that, I've just kind of really sat there and been like, okay, I'm halfway through my 20s. I've kind of made a couple steps forward, but I still feel like I need to kind of give it a shove. You know?
Well, and like I said, it's not a race to the end. Like,
well, and I know
it's just very it's very, you figure things out on the way.
And I know that, but so. It's more of just I've set out to just basically make this coming year just the year that I actually attempt to do things. Like, I don't just say I'm going to do something and then not do it. Because I have been all talk, like for most of the stuff I say I'm going to do.
Yes.
You know? And so I'm setting out to just, if I say I'm gonna, write a short story, I'm gonna actually sit and finish it, because I've been writing one for like a year that I said I was gonna finish this year, and I didn't.
Hey, like I said before, a lot of stories, they do take a while to write.
Yes.
So it's not like I got to finish this as fast as possible, because
Well, it's like it's not a matter of finishing as fast as possible. It's just a matter of I've sat on it for so long that I want to have it done.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and you want those baby goals. You just
Yeah.
want some baby step goals that lead to the bigger one.
yeah.
So
Basically, like this past year, I set up like, okay, in this month I'm gonna write 2 chapters. I'm gonna write 2 chapters a month and then have it done. But then I didn't do any of that. So like this coming year, it's like I'm setting goals and I want to actually go through and actually do them.
yeah.
And usually it's not like I don't normally like sit and like, I normally just go, oh, I want to do this, and then I never think about it again. This time I've literally written it all down, like written everything I want to do this year, and I've like hung it on my wall.
Yeah.
So that's right
well,
there.
and definitely one thing that I'd suggest doing is, like, if you're feeling like you're overwhelmed by it, then you need to be taking breaks.
Yes.
Like, you need to go for a walk, listen to some music, just literally take yourself 100% out of that. I've had to do that with my YouTube videos. There's points that I could sense like, I'm tired of editing this video. It's so long.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not funny. I'm not blah, 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 blah. But then I then realized, like, I need to stop editing.
Yeah.
I literally need to stop what I'm doing right now. And so then I hop on, Destiny, and I play that, or, whatever other game. And,
Yeah.
I haven't taken walks, which is technically the thing I should be doing. But,
Well, the important thing is that you step away.
The video. Yeah. And, especially, you even have to take, I'd even say take it a little bit further than just like, oh, I need to step away from the computer and editing. Well, in my case, it's like, well, since that's my main thing, I just need to step away from all social media. Like, even like my splurges that I will have on TikTok, if I'm editing a video and I'm not feeling the video, I need to take a break and do something that is not social media related, because obviously YouTube it's a form of media. It is social media, and so you kind of need to recognize the stuff of like, this is my thing. This is all that's associated with it.
And I think
disassociate, do something.
And
else.
I think everyone will find their own thing. That's kind of like, okay, this is what I do to kind of step away from my project.
Yeah.
Whether that you could go for a walk, you can read, you can, do a crossword, who knows.
Go window shopping.
Yeah. Like, just get out of the house, go for a drive, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Separate yourself.
Yeah. I know that on my days off, I refuse to stay inside the entire time. Because I've realized that I feel like trash afterward. So I have to take a walk, or I go for a drive. I find a reason to leave the house.
Wow. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. I only started a couple weeks ago because I sat here and I realized I'm just becoming a depressed mess on my days off. I just sit here and binge watch Netflix all day. And then it's like, all right, now I've completed nothing. So I try to I basically try to set a task for myself to do, and then get that done. And if I haven't left the house at all, I have to leave the house. Whether that be for 10 minutes or 2 hours. It has to be at least outside.
Then again, to me, don't beat yourself up over like, oh, I didn't do anything today. I haven't accomplished anything. It's like, no, you don't have to.
Yeah, it's still good to have a time to just do nothing.
Yeah. If you want to binge a show, do that.
It's a matter of, if I lay in my bed physically all day, I just feel like trash.
Yeah.
So like, I don't necessarily have to accomplish anything. I just have to like move. I have to do something. It doesn't have to be productive. It doesn't have to be a goal. It's just like, there was a day where I literally just went and sat on my porch for like 30 minutes and just looked at my phone. Mm-hmm. But it gave me an entirely different feeling rather than just sitting in my room all day looking at my phone or watching TV. Just because I went outside and sat somewhere different that I normally don't go. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really good thing for me. It gets me kind of out of my mind space. It makes me think about other things. So.
Yeah. So just separate and go do something else for a bit. That's a key thing that I think everyone should learn. And also, don't beat yourself up if like if you watch an entire show and you're just like, oh, I've done nothing. It's like, oh, well, guess what? You were enjoying yourself. Yeah. Life isn't meant to like leave your mark. It's just you're here to enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's what you're here for. So just enjoy as the days come. Yeah, sure, they will be bad, but you know what makes all the good ones that much better. So
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Man, we got heavy at the end of this podcast.
Yeah. Well, that's usually how it goes, right?
Yeah.
In all the episodes of podcasts we've recorded before.
Oh yeah, all one of them.
All this one.
All of one. This one.
Anyways, so I think we're just going to leave it there.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to outro a podcast. I don't know how that works.
I got you.
Feel free. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, well, thank you all so much for listening to this first introductory episode. We know that this was just us spewing stuff about our life, which is, not that big of a deal, but we figured this would be a great first introductory episode so you guys kind of know what a little bit of our thought process, where we're coming from, who we are, how we know each other. And so with that being said, this has been DaUseless Podcast, and we will catch you in our next episode.
Yeah. We will be creating social medias and stuff like that, so be on the lookout for those. If you enjoyed, leave a rating on whatever form of podcast thing you listen to our YouTube viewers. Like and subscribe, all that jazz. We will have links to all the social media in the YouTube video. I don't know what any of the handles are or anything like that would be for the social medias, because they don't exist at the time of this recording. So hopefully by the next episode we record, I will have that figured out. So
yes, and we'll also link all of our
personal stuff.
Wait, did you say? Yeah, all personal social.
All the links will be somewhere.
Twitter, what's left of it, and Instagram.
I'm pretty sure. So all your Twitter and Instagram are at DaHobster, right?
Yeah, at DaHobster.
At DaHobster. On Twitter, I'm at Colton Zim. I don't remember what I am on Instagram. We'll figure this out for next time. I'll know how to.
Yeah, and we'll have a way better outro planned out.
We will.
Because this is a long outro of just saying, hey, this is our first
Follow our stuff.
Follow. That's how you get famous. You gotta just
I do eventually want to have a theme song. I think that would be cool.
It eventually could, yeah.
So, anyways, we'll see you next time.
Yep. See ya.